Talk Ava. Learn English with confidence.
Welcome back to Talk and Eva. Today we're talking about two words that seem almost identical at first, private and secret. Many English learners use them as if they mean the same thing, but native speakers often hear a very different feeling behind each word.
This is one of my favorite topics because the difference isn't really grammar. It's emotion, context, and how people interpret what you're saying.
Which is usually where I get into trouble.
You do have a history of accidentally choosing the more dramatic word.
I prefer to think of it as making conversations memorable.
That is certainly one way to describe it.
This topic actually came from something I said recently. A friend asked me why I never talk about my finances, and I replied, "My bank account is secret."
I remember that.
You looked at me strangely.
Because the sentence wasn't wrong, but it created a different feeling from what you probably intended.
That's the frustrating part. In my mind, secret and private felt interchangeable.
A lot of learners think that.
If I don't want people knowing my bank balance, isn't it both private and secret?
Technically, it can be, but native speakers often hear different emotional meanings.
That's the part I find fascinating. Same information, different emotional reaction.
Exactly. When you said your bank account was secret, it sounded like you were hiding something.
Like I had a secret island somewhere.
Or a hidden treasure chest.
Unfortunately, neither exists.
When most people talk about finances, they usually say the information is private. If you enjoy these real English conversations, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
And that feels different immediately.
Very different.
Why though?
Because private often sounds like a personal boundary. Secret sounds like intentional concealment.
That is interesting.
Think about it this way. If someone says, "My medical information is private," most people think, that makes sense.
Because health information is personal.
Exactly.
But if someone says my medical information is secret, the feeling changes.
Now it sounds like there's a hidden story.
I never realized one word could create such a different picture.
That's one of the reasons English can be tricky. Two words can share a meaning, but create completely different emotions.
That might be the most important sentence of today's episode.
Because it applies to many vocabulary pairs.
I'm starting to notice something already. Private feels calmer.
That's a good observation.
Private sounds normal.
Very often, yes.
Secret sounds more dramatic.
Because secrets usually involve information people intentionally don't want discovered.
So privacy isn't automatically secrecy.
Not at all.
That actually feels like a really important distinction.
It is.
I think learners sometimes hear the phrase, keep it private, and assume it means keep it secret.
The actions might look similar, but the emotional reason is often different.
Can you explain that?
Sure. If I say my phone number is private, I'm not hiding it because it's suspicious. I'm protecting a personal boundary.
That sounds reasonable.
Most people would understand immediately.
What if you say your phone number is secret?
Now it sounds like I'm worried somebody might discover something important.
Interesting. The word creates a story before any explanation even begins.
Sammy.
Exactly.
And native speakers pick up on that automatically.
Most of the time they do.
I think that's what surprises me. The dictionary meanings seem close, but the social meanings feel very different.
Because language isn't only about information, it's also about perception.
That explains why some sentences sound slightly strange, even when they're technically correct.
Very true.
The more we talk about this, the more private feels healthy.
That's actually a great way to describe it.
Healthy?
Yes, everyone has private things.
Like finances,
Finances,
medical information,
medical information.
personal conversations.
Exactly.
Those don't sound suspicious,
Because privacy is usually about personal space.
and everyone understands the need for personal space.
Most people do.
Now, let's imagine somebody says, "My relationship is private."
That sounds completely normal.
It sounds like they simply don't want to discuss every detail publicly.
Correct.
What if they say, "My relationship is secret"?
Now the situation feels completely different.
Because it sounds like they're hiding the relationship itself.
That's exactly the feeling many native speakers would get.
Wow,
See how one word changes the story?
it really does.
The facts might even be identical.
But the emotional interpretation changes.
And that's what makes this topic so interesting.
I think I'm finally starting to understand why private feels comfortable.
What are you noticing?
Private sounds like a boundary,
Yes.
a healthy limit,
Yes.
a choice about personal information.
Exactly.
Secret feels more like hiding.
That is the feeling many native speakers hear.
Not always something bad.
Not necessarily.
But definitely more mysterious.
Much more mysterious.
So if privacy is a fence around your personal space, secrecy feels more like a locked door.
That is a very strong image.
And I think that's why the words create different reactions.
Because one focuses on protection while the other focuses on concealment.
Privacy is not secrecy.
That simple sentence explains a huge part of the difference.
I think I'm starting to understand why private feels comfortable and secret feels heavier.
That's usually the turning point with these two words.
Because earlier I was focused on information.
And now?
Now I'm focused on intention.
That's a very important shift.
Private feels like, this belongs to me.
Yes.
Secret feels more like, I don't want anyone to discover this.
That's often the emotional difference native speakers hear.
I think the word secret automatically creates curiosity.
It does.
If someone says, I have a secret, most people immediately want to know more.
Because secrets imply hidden information.
Nobody reacts the same way when someone says, that's private.
Usually not.
Most people hear that and think, fair enough.
Exactly.
That's actually fascinating,
Why?
because one word invites curiosity.
And the other creates a boundary.
That might be the clearest distinction so far.
I like that one too.
Let's talk about some real-life situations.
That's where the difference becomes much easier to see.
Imagine somebody asks about your salary.
A common uncomfortable conversation.
Very uncomfortable.
For many people, yes.
If I say, my salary is private, it sounds normal.
Very normal.
It sounds like I simply prefer not to discuss it.
Exactly.
Now if I say, my salary is secret,
The atmosphere changes immediately.
because now it sounds like something unusual is happening.
Or that there is a specific reason you don't want anyone finding out.
Interesting.
The facts might be identical.
But the emotional story changes.
That's the key.
I think learners often miss that language creates stories.
It absolutely does.
Words don't just transfer information,
They also create assumptions.
and native speakers make those assumptions automatically.
Most of the time, yes.
Let's try another example.
Go ahead.
Health information.
That's a good one.
If somebody says, my medical records are private,
That sounds completely natural.
nobody would think twice.
Because health information is personal.
But if somebody says, my medical records are secret,
Now it sounds much more dramatic.
almost like there is a mystery involved.
Exactly.
The more examples we discuss, the more obvious the difference becomes.
Because your brain is connecting each word to a feeling.
Private equals personal.
Yes.
Secret equals hidden.
Very often, yes.
I wish somebody had explained it that way years ago.
Sometimes one simple idea changes everything.
Okay, here's something I've noticed.
What's that?
Private often sounds respectful.
That's a great observation.
If somebody says that's private, I usually stop asking questions
Most people would.
because it sounds reasonable.
Exactly.
But if somebody says that's secret, people often become more curious.
Because the word itself creates mystery.
So one word closes the conversation,
Politely.
and the other word sometimes opens more questions.
Very true.
That difference is bigger than I expected.
And it becomes even more obvious in social situations.
Like friendships?
Friendships, relationships, workplaces, social media.
Let's talk about relationships.
That is one of the best examples.
If someone says, my relationship is private,
Most people hear that as a healthy boundary.
meaning they don't share every detail online.
Sammy.
Amy.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Now let's change one word.
Everything changes.
My relationship is secret.
Now it sounds like people don't even know the relationship exists.
That feels completely different.
Because it is.
The relationship itself becomes hidden.
Which creates a totally different story.
I think this is where learners get confused.
Because technically, both situations involve information not being shared.
But emotionally, they're miles apart.
That's a perfect way to describe it.
Okay, I think I'm ready for a challenge.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Give me situations and I'll choose private or secret.
Let's do it.
I'm nervous already.
Your diary.
Private.
Why?
Because a diary is personal. It doesn't automatically mean I'm hiding something.
Good.
Next one,
A surprise birthday party.
secret.
Why?
Because people are intentionally hiding information until the right moment.
Perfect.
That one felt easy.
Let's make it harder.
Here we go.
Your password. Interesting reaction.
I think both could work.
Explain.
A password is private because it's personal,
Good.
but it's also secret because I don't want anyone discovering it.
Excellent answer.
So sometimes both words are possible.
Yes, but they highlight different aspects.
Private focuses on ownership.
Exactly.
Secret focuses on concealment.
Exactly.
That might be the most useful thing I've learned today.
Because now you're hearing the emotional difference instead of memorizing definitions.
Let's do another one.
A personal journal.
Private.
Good.
A secret mission.
Definitely secret.
A family discussion.
Usually private.
A hidden plan.
Secret.
This is getting easier.
Because you're no longer thinking about vocabulary.
What am I thinking about now?
The story behind the word.
That's true.
And once learners start hearing the story, these two words become much easier to understand naturally.
I think that's the biggest lesson so far. The word changes the story before you explain it.
That is probably the most important thing we've discovered today.
I think I've reached the dangerous stage of learning.
Which stage is that?
The stage where I understand something just enough to make confident mistakes.
That is a very real stage.
And I think I experienced it last week.
I'm listening.
I was talking to someone at a social event and they asked whether I'm active on social media.
A very normal question.
And I replied, I'm a very secret person.
There it is.
The sentence sounded fine to me.
Until you heard it from a native speaker's perspective.
Exactly.
Because secret person creates a very different image from private person.
That's what surprised me.
A private person sounds normal.
Someone who doesn't share everything.
Correct.
A secret person sounds mysterious.
Or suspicious.
Or like somebody hiding documents in a cave.
Sammy,
That is certainly one possibility,
I think that's the first time I truly felt the emotional difference.
because now the words are describing people.
And that's where the emotional meaning becomes much stronger.
Very true.
A private person sounds healthy.
Most people would hear it that way.
A person who enjoys personal space.
Exactly.
Someone who doesn't post every detail of their life online.
Very normal.
But a secretive person sounds different.
Notice that word.
Secretive.
That's the adjective native speakers often use.
And it doesn't sound positive.
Not usually,
It sounds like someone is intentionally hiding things.
which is why private and secretive create very different impressions.
I think that's something learners need to hear.
Because many people translate directly and miss the emotional feeling.
The more we talk about it, the more private feels connected to boundaries,
That's a great observation.
while secret feels connected to concealment.
Exactly.
Boundaries sound healthy.
Usually.
Concealment sounds suspicious.
Sometimes yes.
Not always bad,
Not always.
but definitely different.
Very different.
Let's talk about social media, because I think that's where these words appear often now.
That's a perfect area for this discussion.
Imagine somebody never posts photos of their family.
Okay?
Would you call them private?
Most likely.
Why?
Because they're choosing to keep part of their life personal.
That sounds reasonable.
And many people respect that choice.
Now imagine somebody creates fake accounts, hides information, and tells different stories to different people.
That starts feeling secretive.
Exactly.
Because now the focus is on hiding.
Interesting.
The behavior creates a different emotional picture.
I think that's why native speakers react differently to these words.
Because the words suggest different motivations.
That might be the most important idea we've discussed today.
I think so too.
Private says, this is personal.
Yes.
Secret says, don't discover this.
That is a very useful distinction.
Okay, here's another situation.
Go ahead.
Imagine someone asks about your future plans,
A common conversation topic?
and you reply, my plans are private.
That sounds normal.
It simply means you don't want to discuss them.
Exactly.
Now imagine saying, my plans are secret.
That sounds completely different.
Now it sounds like a spy movie.
Or a surprise project.
The sentence suddenly becomes much more dramatic.
Because the word secret naturally creates mystery.
I think learners often underestimate how powerful emotional associations are.
And native speakers rely on those associations constantly.
It's almost like every word carries a personality.
That's a beautiful way to describe it.
Some words feel warm,
Yes.
some feel formal,
Yes.
some feel suspicious.
And secret can sometimes fall into that category.
Which explains why my secret person comment sounded strange.
It definitely created a different impression than you intended.
I think I'm finally starting to hear these emotional signals.
That's where real language learning happens.
Not when you memorize definitions.
But when you understand how people react to words.
Okay, let's move into everyday conversations.
Good idea.
Imagine a coworker asks, why don't you talk much about your family?
A realistic situation?
A natural answer could be, I like to keep my family life private.
That sounds completely natural.
Because you're setting a boundary.
Exactly.
Now imagine saying, my family life is secret.
That creates a different story immediately.
People start wondering why.
Because the word secret encourages curiosity.
That's such an interesting difference.
And it appears everywhere.
Friendships too?
Definitely.
How?
Imagine a friend says, I don't tell everyone about my problems.
That sounds private.
Yes,
They're choosing carefully who they share with.
exactly.
Now imagine someone says, I have secrets nobody can ever know.
That sounds much heavier emotionally.
Almost dramatic.
Because secrecy often feels more intense than privacy.
I think I'm finally seeing the pattern.
What's the pattern?
Private usually sounds calm.
Yes,
Secret usually sounds emotional.
very often.
Private sounds like a choice.
Yes,
Secret sounds like a mystery.
that is a fantastic summary.
And honestly, I never expected such a small vocabulary topic to become so psychological.
Many of the most interesting English words work that way.
Because they don't just describe information.
They describe intention.
And understanding intention is what makes English sound natural.
That's a wonderful insight.
I think I finally understand why native speakers react differently to private and secret.
What clicked for you?
Earlier, I thought the difference was mostly vocabulary.
And now?
Now it feels like the difference is emotional.
That is a very important realization.
Because the information can sometimes be identical.
Exactly.
The facts don't always change.
But the feeling does.
And people respond to that feeling immediately.
That's one of the reasons natural English can be difficult for learners.
Because nobody tells you that words carry emotional baggage.
Some words definitely do.
Private feels respectful.
Very often, yes.
Secret feels hidden.
That's usually the emotional impression.
I think the word secret automatically creates a question.
What question?
What are they hiding?
That's a great observation.
Even if the speaker never intended that.
The word itself can create curiosity.
Meanwhile, private creates a different reaction.
What reaction?
That's their business.
Exactly.
One word invites respect.
And the other invites investigation.
That might be my favorite summary of the entire episode.
It's a good one.
I also think this topic explains something bigger about English.
What do you mean?
Learners often focus on whether a word is correct,
That's true.
but native speakers often focus on how a word feels.
Very true.
Two words can be technically correct.
And still create very different impressions.
That happens all the time in real conversations.
Much more often than learners realize.
I think that's why some people sound natural even with simple vocabulary,
Because they choose words that match the emotional situation.
not just the dictionary definition.
Exactly.
This conversation has actually changed how I think about vocabulary.
How so?
I used to think words were labels.
Interesting.
Now I think words are stories,
That's a beautiful way to describe language.
because every word carries a little story with it.
And people hear that story whether they realize it or not.
Private tells one story.
A story about personal space.
Secret tells another story.
A story about concealment and mystery.
And once you hear those stories, the difference becomes obvious.
Much easier than memorizing definitions.
Definitely easier.
Let's do one final test.
I'm ready.
Your diary.
Private.
Your bank password.
Private and secret.
Why both?
Private because it belongs to me.
Good.
Secret because I don't want anyone discovering it.
Perfect.
I never would have answered that correctly at the beginning of this episode.
Because now you're thinking about intention.
Not just vocabulary.
Exactly.
Let's try another one.
A surprise birthday party.
Secret.
Good.
Because the surprise only works if information stays hidden.
Correct.
A family conversation?
What would you choose?
Usually private.
Why?
Because family discussions are personal, but not necessarily hidden.
That's a very natural answer.
I think I'm finally hearing these words the way native speakers do.
That's what it sounds like.
And the strange thing is that the difference feels obvious now.
Many language lessons feel that way once they finally click.
I spent years thinking these words were nearly identical.
A lot of learners do.
Now they feel completely different.
Because you've connected them to emotions instead of definitions.
I think that's the lesson I'll remember most.
Which lesson?
The idea that vocabulary is emotional.
That's a powerful lesson.
Because if learners understand that, a lot of confusing word pairs suddenly make more sense.
I agree.
Private versus secret,
A great example.
help versus support.
Sammy, Amy, another great example.
Compliment versus compliment.
Definitely.
The differences aren't always about facts.
Sometimes they're about feeling.
And people are surprisingly sensitive to those feelings,
Native speakers pick them up very quickly.
even when they can't explain why.
That's true.
I think that's what fascinates me about language.
What part?
Two people can communicate the same information
But create completely different impressions.
just by changing one word.
Exactly.
That's kind of amazing when you think about it.
It really is.
Before we finish, let me see if I can summarize everything in one sentence.
Let's hear it.
Private feels like a personal boundary.
Good.
Secret feels like intentionally hidden information.
Very good.
Private says, that's personal.
Yes.
Secret says, don't find out.
That captures the emotional difference perfectly.
I think that might finally stay in my memory.
I think it will.
And hopefully it helps listeners too.
I'm sure it will. And if you enjoyed today's conversation, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel Talk of Aba. Some English words don't change the facts, they change the feeling behind the facts. And understanding those feelings is often what makes English sound truly natural.